So one big question that comes up frequently, and something you may have hopefully noticed when you were working on the key-in, the last key-in for quad equation, is that in your book, in the quad equation program that I have in there for you, I have static used more frequently. And so you may notice that, for example, some of the some of the methods are public static, and I just wanted to point out what that static means. So a static variable or a static um, before putting the name of the method is something that is going to be shared by all instances of this class. So memory allocation is only going to happen one time. And what does that exactly mean? So I'm going to show you, I think the best way to show you possibly is when I go to this test quads. Now I have three quadratic equations set up. One has open set of parameters, so theoretically it should be 1, 1, and 1 because that's how I had this set up. 1, 1, and 1. Then I give 2, -1, -15, then I give 5, 1, 2. Now I wrote a little method in that quad equations called coefficients that's going to return the value of the coefficients or print out the value of the coefficients. So you see down here it's a very small method called coefficients. It's not going to return anything. It's just simply going to print out the values of A, B, and C. Because I want to test how it works for each Q1, Q2, and Q3 for each object. So I'll compile this and run it, and I see that exactly what I had anticipated should happen did happen. So Q1 has coefficients of 1, 1, and 1. Q2 has coefficients of 2, -1, and -15, which is what I expected for to happen. Now, that's fine as long as the way that I'm declaring this isn't static. The minute I put static in there, let's see what happens. It compiles fine. So my compiler isn't telling me there's a problem. I go to my test program, compiles fine, no problem. I go to run it, and I see that now Q1 has a value of 5, 1, and 2, and Q2 has a value of 5, 1, and 2. Now notice I never even asked for the object Q3 for its coefficients to be printed out. But here I have declared Q3, I've given it values of 5, 1, and 2, and because my quadratic equation class has this set up as being a private static variable list, what's going to happen now is that it will change it throughout the scope of the entire program. So just to clarify, let's take out static, compile it. Let's go back to my test program, compile it. Now when I run it, it's not static. So Q1 is going to have values for coefficients of 1, 1, and 1. Q2 is going to have values of coefficients 2, -1, -15. Since I never asked about Q3, it's never going to be given. But when it is static, the minute I declare this, it changes it throughout the scope of the entire program. So it makes everything that. So I just want to give you a little heads up on that. Probably for starters, you should just stay away from using the word static unless you have to. Many of the times it really doesn't matter one way or the other. Like notice in my quad equations class, I do have a couple things that are static, like one of my Israels is static, and one of my determinants is static. I don't use either one of those, notice, but my toString is static. I don't think I use that either, to be honest with you. Yeah, in my program, I'm only using these non-static methods. I put the static ones in because I thought you might want to play around with those and see what the difference is. But what I did just now is just an example of how you could play around with those and see what the difference between static and non-static is. Good luck. Luck.